Ah, okay, we're live. Hi.
Hi.
Getting
My stream is delayed. Okay.
hi everyone. I hate to start so random and wacky, but getting this thing to start tonight was a bit of a hellscape. Because Rose's Wi-Fi went out.
Rose is in Australia. Lucky
so
for me.
so she's gonna be late to the show tonight. But welcome to Ready to Start the podcast. Our funniest show yet. Oh, look, Liv is here.
Who's that? Who's that over there? Who's that?
Don't harass me today.
Yeah, who's that?
Okay,
Who's that? Who are you?
No, who
What?
are you?
Who am
Who are
I?
you?
Oh yeah, you're
who are
right.
you?
Yeah, off screen. Between the last podcast and this one, I tripped and fell on concrete really hard, and now my skin is green and my face is different.
Wow. Man, they should have never changed the color of Ryan Ribbit's hat. I was ready to draw the line
Ryan
there.
Ribbit has had a rocky history in 3D.
Yeah, the Ryan Ribbity red hat controversy is gonna go on for weeks.
Yeah.
First it was green, and then it was pink, and now it's red. I can't. The glow of the movie theater is obstructing my eyes. Anyway.
Welcome to tonight's exciting episode. Rosa will be late, but she will be here eventually. I promise.
Usual.
What?
Not as you. I'm just kidding.
Um,
I'm just.
This is the episode where we're all mean. Let's not be mean.
I'm.
Was this the most like normal start to the podcast? I just realized like we're just on the show now.
I guess so.
What just happened?
I guess so. I'm Ryan. Who else is here?
Should I go? Okay.
Yeah.
Hi. I'm Curb. I'm an amateur Japanese English translator. I am most known for for subbing Yokai Watch, everybody's favorite show, with the group Spectre subs. Y Academy in theaters November 2nd. Mark the date on your calendars.
I'm so excited. And who else is our regular?
I'm Gerb. You met Gerb, now meet Gerb.
Gerb? Gerb that hates God?
Why?
Gerbert 20 years
Well-
later. What would that look like?
What is?
I had that thought today. Like regular show 25 years later, like the comic. You know, but like Gerbert.
I like the idea of like Gerbert as like a BoJack Horseman-esque reboot for Gerbert. Where like he's like he's like kind of like a broken, like awful man who is like dealing with his fall from stardom, even though he was like never that big of a star in the first place.
God did this to me.
Oh, how could I have fallen from such grace? Oh, Stu, you gotta help me out.
I'm sick of carrying around your messes, Gerbert.
Oh, Stu, come on, you're always my friend. You're my favorite child on the show.
I like the notion the random star, like one of the random cast members from Gerbert, would still be around Gerbert. Like they just can't escape him.
They won the Get to Stay on Gerbert Forever lottery, the most prestigious prize of our era.
Now, that's more like a curse than a reward. You're stuck with Gerbert. You have to be the Gerbert.
It's a double-edged sword.
Mm-hmm. Did I introduce myself? I
You
can't
didn't.
introduce myself.
You
No,
did-
well, you
I-
introduced Gerb. That's very important.
Right. I ate a big old taco. I thought I'd be late for this show. I was gonna be the late one. Am I right?
You made it like in the exact 30 seconds we needed you. Keep save the podcast.
I did. They said they almost canceled it.
Yeah, we almost had
Yeah.
to cancel it because both Seep and Rosa weren't gonna be here for a minute. I was
Yeah.
worried.
I mean,
Yeah.
unless you all wanted to hear me and Ryan like do terrible Montai for an hour and a half, but that couldn't happen.
Well, everyone, I guess we should get into the first news topic of the week. You know them. They're crazy. They're zany to the max. The Animaniacs are coming back.
You mean backs? You have to rhyme or it doesn't
Oh
work.
shit, you're right.
Yeah.
So, is anyone hyped for the Animaniacs reboot?
I sure am hype. Rob Paulson here. I can't do
Wow,
a
we
good
got
Rob
another guest.
Paulson,
You should-
Rob
you-
Paulson normal voice
You-
impression.
Can
Ah,
anybody
yeah.
do Rob Paulson? I think only Rob Paulson can do Rob Paulson.
No. I know what to do.
Yeah, it's been a big part of my childhood.
I'm Ash Paulson, son of Rob. Um, uh,
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about
How
that.
many voices can I do?
everyone, listen to my Triss Game Explained voice.
So I mentioned that, like, in a group chat that I thought it was weird they waited like so long to bring this show back, because I felt like this show had its heyday like in 2010s YouTube, like that's when it was big. But like someone kind of pointed out to me that like they didn't start doing reboots a lot of things until very recently, so I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, if it came out in 2010, it would have been like, like Skunk Fu or something. Why did I think of Skunk Fu?
Fucking Animaniacs Skunk Fu.
Yeah.
That's the new character they're adding to invigorate interest for the modern Rosa.
For the Modern Rosa?
She's yeah, the modern Rosa who's here now.
Monkeys that overrun Thailand.
Oh,
Monkeys
okay.
have overrun Thailand?
Well, because we can't talk about Animaniacs anymore. We're talking about the monkeys.
The monkeys are taking over the Animaniacs.
I don't know what to
That's
say
gonna
about
be-
the Maniac. I never watched it.
I didn't either.
My history with Animaniacs is I watched it as a kid specifically because all the adults online would always say it's the best show ever. So I pretended like I knew what any of the jokes meant. So people would think I was
Not
smart.
everybody.
I was like, oh, Doug Walker thinks the show good. It must be.
That's like the internet version of like proving yourself to the schoolyard bully. It's like, yeah, I get all the jokes on Animaniacs. What about it?
But when I've grown up and like tried to rewatch it, I'm like, I'm not super into it. Admittedly, it's not really anything. I feel like that in general, I feel like the show's gotten a little less popular over time. I see a lot more like people say they didn't like it now.
Yeah.
I watched
What I
some clips of
sorry.
it. Oh, sorry.
Rosa, go first.
One of us has to
Like-
change.
Like, it's sort of very less memorable compared to the other cartoons.
Hmm.
Steven Spielberg, I'm guessing. I feel like. I
What
don't
were
know,
his
the
other
only
things?
thing.
Like Tiny Toons?
Yeah, he did Tiny Toons, Animaniacs, Freakazoid, and I think Hysteria was part of that, right?
Oh, don't forget Pinky, Elmira, and the Brain.
Oh,
Yeah.
forget Pinky Elmira in the brain.
Yeah, like the only thing I really remember is the whatchamacallit. Like that one movie special where like
Was it the
Wacko
Christmas
got like
movie?
2 pennies.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the Wishing Star is not that far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't do a Wacko voice. I haven't watched enough Animaniacs to do any of those.
What you're doing tonight? Just you throwing up? Are you okay?
Oh, I ate too much. I ate too much taco surprise from the cafeteria. Oh.
But my other thing is, I wonder how good this is even gonna do, because like, I don't know. I just feel like people in general aren't super excited about Animaniacs as like a thing. And, the more popular cartoons now tend to be the more story-based ones. I've joked about this like 100 times now, but my prediction for the show is there's going to be a clip from the first 2 episodes that gets really popular and big. It's going to be all over Twitter for like a week, and then no one's going to talk about the show ever again.
Mm-hmm.
I think it being Hulu exclusive helps it in terms of like people having access to it.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people actually have Hulu. I don't have any of these subscription services. I'm like the
I
only
do.
person on the planet without Netflix.
I have
So-
Hulu. Yeah, I do have, so I can
Yeah.
see this.
We'll have to all watch Animaniacs as a family.
We
I-
are.
We are
I-
okay.
Someone in chat saying the Green Eggs and Ham though did have a story. I do agree with that. I almost, because my thing why I think Green Eggs and Ham dropped off so fast, despite like the initial kind of like hype for it, is I think dumping all that show out at once didn't help with like people like continuing to talk about it, because it's like when you have a story based cartoon like the Owl House or like Steven Universe, it helps to like have it on a week by week basis so people can keep
Right.
talking about it. With Green Eggs and Ham, it came out, we kind of got all our discussion for it out of the way, and then like it's done.
Like that's the problem with like the binge model that all these shows are going for nowadays. Actually, somebody in chat brought up the anime parody, and like I think that phenomenon you mentioned of people posting one clip on Twitter and then not caring is already happening with the
Like,
trailer.
Yeah.
Because
oh
I
my
don't see
God.
anything besides that anime clip.
Well, I think
Like-
credit where it's due. That anime clip is one of the few times a comedy animated show has done an anime parody, and I can tell the
Oh,
person
yeah.
who drew it has watched anime before.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. That's true.
Mhm.
But
It's
I
so-
saw, but like the day before the trailer dropped, I saw like the Jurassic Park parody trailer that was suggested to me on YouTube for some reason,
Ah.
and that's how I started looking stuff up about it. It was like the Jurassic Park trailer was like vaguely, I was cynical about it because it seemed like they're kind of, what's the expression? Not milking their own cow. That is not an expression, but that's the first
Tooting
thing
their
that came
own
to my head.
horn.
So I don't know, something like that. And then like
Uh-huh.
the trailer came out, and I think it was kind of like, you know what the Simpsons Disney Plus trailer did?
Oh.
You can kind of tell that they're not happy about being on Disney Plus. But this felt like the same kind of fourth wall breaking haha, but like opposite energy. Like it felt less like haha capitalism and more like rubbing it in your face that capitalism is making this a streaming service exclusive. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, it felt like it wasn't really a joke that they were rubbing it in. And it kind of gets worse because I heard, I don't know how true this is, that they didn't hire the original writers and they were like begging to be on or something. So it's a little bit hard not to be cynical about this whole thing.
Rosa, you sound like you wanted to say something about it.
I feel like one of their jokes is that they're gonna start knocking designs like modern cartoons. Because like they're just like the split shot of like Dot in a different art style.
I'm gonna hope it's like the opposite thing, and they make fun of people who get up in arms about like cartoon art styles. Because I do think I am hoping, because like I did see that shot where like Dot kind of looks like a CalArts kidney bean smile, social justice warrior, soy boy, CalArts Steven Universe
Oh yeah,
face.
people lost it about the mansplaining line. Like I think people gave themselves aneurysms over that line.
Yeah.
Well, no, Animaniacs always been like that.
Yeah,
If
well,
you-
that's
It's been
exactly
like
the
that.
thing. People act like it's like this is just a new thing for the reboot. Like, no, Animaniacs did that all the time. That's why people
Yeah.
talked about it.
I kind of feel like if there are problems with it, to me it kind of seems like it would be that it's like too close to the original because I feel like it just came out in such a different time. Like it was right after the 80s where a lot of cartoons were so like bland and like
yeah,
commercially. And so it was like probably really novel to have a cartoon that would like break the fourth wall and like be funny and self-aware.
Huh.
But now we kind of have a lot of those.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it stands up.
I also will stand by this. Part of the reason I'm lukewarm about is I learned recently I kind of prefer when reboots are really different from the original now. Because like my favorite things like reboot wise have been like the Looney Tunes show, and I really like the new DuckTales. And I've been meaning to watch Rise of the TMNT, which looks really good.
Yeah. And like it really is disappointing that like you see like that Dot in the different arts are like, you know what, they could have really gone for that.
I think
For as much as people complain
go
about
ahead.
like reboots changing things, I feel like I feel the opposite. I feel like many reboots now, like the whole shtick is like, look how close to the original it is now.
That's been a pretty recent
Yeah.
thing, I think. But yeah, I feel like if they did change how Animaniacs looked, though, there would be so much like.
Doug Walker would have made a very angry video about it.
and then they would have parodied it in an episode about how they put Doug Walker in Animaniacs.
So, I want to ask something. Doug Walker is like friends with some of these people. He was for a bit, I think. He was friends with some of the Animaniacs people. Can you imagine if, like, Doug Walker was like on an episode?
I could actually like picture that very clearly. Like they put him in like the background. And he's all like 90s like rubbery cartoon.
Just like the drooping body of Doug Walker, just in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would
Like-
be something.
It wouldn't be like the ABGN cartoon.
Oh my god, the ABGN nostalgia
Wait.
critic anime appearance.
Wait, that was the hold on. That was the thing.
Yeah, did you not know about the time Doug Walker and ABGN like got a cameo in the like an anime?
No.
They had
I
a cat.
will.
I
I
don't know
guess
what
I'm
the
not
anime
too
was.
surprised.
Yeah, they were in there. They were in there.
Yeah, also like there was that one AVGN cartoon.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, he has done a few cartoon animated stuff.
They should put in the credits. Special thanks to Doug Walker.
He'll probably be like, "What?"
But
Why
they,
did I-
and then 2020.
I guess my other thing about the reboot I wanted to talk about is I found they got rid of almost like 90% of the main cast. I noticed because it's only the Warner siblings and Pinky and the Brain now. Everyone else is gone apparently.
I mean, who remembers anything but that?
I was gonna
really?
say, yeah. The only major loss I feel like is I did like Slappy. I think she was one of the better side characters. I think
Slappy.
She's a squirrel.
she's the old lady squirrel. She was one of the better ones.
Okay.
I think she did get a bit rip offed. But like, yeah. Otherwise,
How
like,
can they get rid of the god pigeons?
I was gonna say, who cared about the fucking guy Goodfellas or the two separate dog characters?
You know, what about Schnookums and Meat? What are they?
They're not from Animaniacs.
You know,
They could be.
I think Animaniacs are just afraid of girl bosses.
No,
That's a very good.
no, but they're
point,
never
you know,
mansplaining.
Where's Cornelia? You're not just making. I like the idea of just making Animaniac segments up. Like, oh, who could forget Doogie and Boogie? The doctor and Hello Nurse and like the security guard aren't there either. It looks like, which I find interesting. I can't think of any reason to remove like the Warner Brothers side characters, like who appear in their segments mostly.
Mhm.
It's interesting because there was like an Animaniacs GameCube game like 10 years after the original show came out, and it also got rid of every character but the Warner siblings and Pinky and the Brain.
Maybe it's like a
They
writing
just had
thing.
no idea what to do with all these characters in a video game.
I had to imagine it's also just
How
like
many side quests?
those are the most like popular ones too, by far.
Yeah, if you never watched the show, then like those are the good. Pinky and the Brain and the Warners are the ones that you're gonna recognize.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of brings up a good point about the Hello Nurse thing. It's like I wonder if they're gonna like tone down the jokes where like a lot of them was kind of just Yakko being really into women, unless maybe that's just a disproportionate amount of clips on YouTube. I don't know. I haven't seen too much of anime.
They could have brought.
I'm gay now. I'm gay.
They could have brought Hello Nurse back, and she just
Congratulations,
goes, I know you're talking about Yak. No, they can both like say, they're like, Hello Nurse and Yaku can meet up after years of not seeing each other and say, we're both gay now.
You know what? I
Yeah.
think this should happen. Unironically, let's do it. Can we
I
write
think-
to Steven
I-
Spielberg?
They should have a Hello Nurse from like an alternate timeline
Oh my
come
god.
in, and then Dot would be like, "Hello, Nurse." I haven't played Crash 4. I can't think of any more jokes.
I will
So-
say, the most surprised, I am surprised they didn't bring, like, the doctor guy back, like the bald one, because Rob Paulson also plays him, and he was usually comedic for to the Warners. So I'm surprised, like,
He probably died.
in universe?
Yeah, of old age.
What?
Well, why can't he just come out of the grave? The Warner
Yeah,
Bros.
hold on. The Warners came out of their
Inconsistent
grave.
writing in Animaniacs. I am writing a video essay about this right now.
He's stuck in the time sphere like Professor Farnsworth.
At the end of the show, the Warner Brothers are gonna be like old now, but then like he comes out of the time sphere, and the Warners are gonna be looking at you like ready to do it all again. And that's how season 2 will start.
The reboot in the Spielberg extended cartoon universe was just like that Jurassic Park trailer. What if that's like a teaser of things to come, where like they're just gonna like shove all of Steven Spielberg's movies in there somehow? Unless did they do that in the original one? I don't know.
Well, you're wrong because they need to save all Steven Spielberg's movies for Space Jam 2.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. That's what we. Do you think the Warners are gonna be in that movie?
Hold on, should we just ship to Space Jam 2? I feel like we should talk about Space Jam 2. Actually, I forgot to write about
Oh,
it
what
down.
happened with Space Jam 2 besides it's happening?
So Space Jam 2 is like barely a Looney Tunes movie. It's like about Warner Bros. Properties and nothing else.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. Now they're doing the cinematic universe.
Let me like find like the thing that published about it. Hold on. It's like a
Yeah, I did have a thought on this. I feel like the problem with like between this and like Scoob and like whatever else, the problem with the cinematic universe approach right off the bat is that like it works with Marvel in terms of drawing people in because they built it up like focusing on all these like iconic characters individually and just telling new stories with them. And then like they slowly introduce that they're all coming together. I mean, by the end, it still got a little bit ridiculous, but like now, all these people trying to like capitalize on that are just like going straight off the bat, and like it's too much to handle. It feels like, and it gets in the way of them telling like any kind of good story, just because they can shove in like as many character cameos and stuff as they can. And it's like, I don't know, this is gonna collapse in on itself after. A
Yeah,
while.
hold on. Let me read the synopsis that came out. During a trip to the Warner Bros. Studios, NBA superstar LeBron James and his son accidentally get trapped within a world that contains all of Warner Bros. Stories and characters under the control of a malfunctioning, all-powerful force named AIG, played by Don Cheadle. With the help of Bugs Bunny, LeBron must navigate through a never-before-imagined world filled with iconic movie scenes and characters as they reassemble the Looney Tunes to rescue his lost son. Now, to get back home, LeBron and the Tunes have to unravel AIG's mysterious plan and win an epic basketball game against digital gamified super versions of the NBA and WNBA's biggest stars that the entire world watches. What does this do with space anymore?
Yeah, question.
Yeah?
How do you spell Don Cheadle?
I just had it open.
What?
I already forgot.
Don Cheadle, I think, is Cheadle.
Oh, Cheeto.
Yeah.
Not
So-
Cheeto. Not Don Cheeto.
So, like, one, why is this even called Space Jam 2? There's no aliens in it.
No, because it's basketball and Bugs Bunny.
I also
Okay, well,
I also,
you forgot Marvin the Martian. He's in it.
I also really love. I can already
Uh-oh.
picture like how mediocre like the final basketball thing is gonna be, because in the first one, the other basketball players were also cartoons, and this one they're gonna be real people. So like, there's like no funny jokes you can do with like Bugs Bunny like whacking like a giant alien. It's gonna be fucking awful.
I don't know. If you have like Pennywise, you have like a big CGI finger or something.
Well,
Wait,
Wait,
Pennywise is in it? What?
Yeah, he's in it.
what?
Pennywise is an alien too.
Is he? I
That's
don't know
true.
what the
That's
hell
true.
Pennywise is. I
I
never
forgot.
watched the
Turns
second
into
one.
like a giant spider.
I need
Yeah.
to stress though, the players they're played against in the final isn't like Joker or Pennywise. It's super versions of NBA biggest stars.
Oh, okay. Well, they're
gonna
gonna have
be-
like they're gonna be like digitally like scaled up. They're gonna have like CGI. They're gonna have like CGI powers.
They're gonna look like the Hulk from Endgame.
I love the fact that like the only mention of like Looney Tunes in this is that Bugs Bunny's like a side character.
You know
Like,
what? Can I be honest?
Yeah,
When I first like this like leaked a while ago.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why we did like the Scoob thing where like it like led into a sequel to Space Jam.
yeah.
I can't just mention that offhand.
What are you
Let-
talking
don't
about?
worry
They're
about it.
filming.
But I don't know. The more I think about this, I feel like it's because like Space Jam is like I don't think Space Jam is like a very good movie.
Oh, it's awful. Yeah.
So like if it's gonna feel more like a commercial that has characters that they're just using because people recognize them as opposed to like a genuine like Looney Tunes property, you know what? I think it might actually be better if they
Yeah.
just throw away any pretense of like caring about the Looney Tunes and just go wild.
Oh, let me like stress. I think this is gonna be hysterical. I am so excited for like how dumb this is gonna be. It's gonna be so like bad. I'm so
We're gonna-
excited.
We're gonna do a Scoob 2 with this.
And also, it's
It is
hard.
gonna-
It's
yeah.
hard to get too mad because we also have like actual Looney Tunes things like on HBO Max. Like whatever, do whatever stupid thing you want to do with Space Jam 2. I have actual Looney Tunes things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To wonder if this is like even gonna do well, or if it's gonna be like they're gonna hype it up so much, like, oh yeah, remember Space Jam, and then it's gonna come out and like nobody's gonna talk
Where's-
about it.
See, where's that tweet like our friend made? It was like he went to like a Space Jam. No, he was like working in a movie theater, and they were doing like a Space Jam like re-showing for like its anniversary, and only 5 people came, and someone walked out and said, "I remember it being funnier."
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly I have no idea how this is gonna do. I don't know. It's such a weird thing. I feel like this is the trailer is gonna be like when the trailer drops. There's
Yeah.
probably gonna be so much like, whoa, what the whoa? Because like they're gonna be like, hey boys, forget about me, and it's gonna be like the Joker.
Which
Um,
Joker though?
All of them. It's gonna turn into like a crossover of like every
I-
famous movie character named Joker.
I would not be surprised if they did a Joker. It was like, oh, here's all the Jokers,
Uh,
the Harlem Jokers.
I am very. If there's one thing I'm unironically excited for, I think the people who like did the actual 2D animation for both Space Jam and Back in Action are back for this. So I assume at the very least there'll be some good 2D animation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want to make a prediction for a scene.
Yeah, yeah.
Joker's gonna pull out his gun, and then if he shoots it, it's gonna shoot out like a little flag, and on the flag it's gonna say "delete this."
It's gonna be Twitter's favorite meme for a whole month.
They're gonna put a scene in just so people on Twitter can gif it.
Yeah.
Twitter
I mean,
meme bait,
that's
my
unbelievable.
Space Jam.
I think they're banking on like the name value of Space Jam itself being almost kind of meme bait,
Yeah.
but like before memes were a thing.
You know, while we're here talking about Space Jam, I think we do need to acknowledge that Back in Action is like a million times better.
Oh yeah,
definitely. And it got less recognition.
I could talk a lot about Back in Action. I don't know. It's definitely like Space Jam is like a movie that has Looney Tunes in it, but it doesn't really feel like a Looney Tunes movie,
Mhm.
like very thoroughly. I mean, like the Looney Tunes are in the movie a lot,
Yeah.
but it's not really the same spirit.
Yeah.
For sure.
Back in Action feels like it was directed by like Joe Dante, who did like if you watch his other stuff, like he did like the Gremlins
Yeah.
movies and some other stuff, and he like you could tell he loves like wacky, cartoony stuff, and like makes like
Okay.
actual jokes.
I think what helps for me is that the first movie is about all the Looney. It feels like the first movie has two characters, all the Looney Tunes at once grouped together, and LeBron. Who's the one? Michael Jordan is the first one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's Michael Jordan, and then all the Looney Tunes at once are like one character. But in Back in Action, Bugs and Daffy are like the main character. It's just those two as like the main characters, and they go like beat from beat to other Looney Tunes. So it feels more like a Looney Tunes thing, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. We have in the chat. Will the Gremlins be in Space Jam 2? I mean, they were in Lego Batman, so
That's true, they were.
I feel like anything that was in like the Lego movies has
Can
a
I-
good chance.
They
of
should
showing
just
up
put
here.
Lego Batman in it.
Space Jam 2 is just gonna be a worse version, like the last seat, like the last third of like Lego Batman.
Yeah. I'm
That
honestly.
should be the surprise cameo, like Will Arnett as Lego Batman just like walks on screen
my
at the
God.
end.
No, it should be. There should be like oh, I'm Batman. You see a shadow, and then he walks on, and he's like the size of an actual Lego.
LeBron James just like steps on him. He's like, not cool.
Any other?
Honestly, there's.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, if depending on like, if this movie just realizes how ridiculous it is, and I think this could just be such a like weird and just like a movie that you could just watch and be like, this is crazy. I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know
Oh,
if we
go
had a
on.
good time watching Scoob.
Go on, Rosa.
Remember in the first Space Jam, LeBron, when Michael Jordan walked up and just said "fuck them kids" to Bugs, and then he just kept going on with the movie.
And Bug's like, okay, that's weird. Anyway.
Yeah, awkward.
See, the worst part about the Looney Tunes being like a side thing in Space Jam 2 is you won't get like all the Looney Tunes saying like, oh, this is bad. I believe this is really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, nailed it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Still can't forget how LeBron sort of just sat on the couch and Daffy was like, "What is he doing that?"
What?
Anyway, next topic.
What?
Next topic. I think this is the thing Curb probably wants to talk about the most.
Yeah, we gotta.
So this is a very awkward
Don't
shift from
worry,
like
everybody.
this could be a really awkward shift from like Looney Tunes trailer quotes. Level 5, which is the creator of series such as Yokai Watch and Professor Layton. Their U.S. branch is pretty much all but confirmed to be like shut down.
Okay, yeah, okay, don't worry. I've rehearsed for this extensively.
Okay, yeah, go on.
All right, yeah. So basically, it kind of started last year when there was a big like exodus of Level 5 Abby. Abby is like the branch of Level 5 International that did marketing and stuff. They didn't really do the actual localizing too much. Most of the time, it was handed off to like Nintendo Treehouse or some other companies. But there was a huge layoff. All the social media people got laid off. A few of the translators and marketers and things all got laid off. And this was last year. Immediately after that, they announced the Yokai Watch 4 localization in July. And then immediately after that, according to one of the few anonymous posters on 4chan that were apparently ex-employees, they like went into starting to file for bankruptcy around then. And then it just, so there was like dead quiet on Level 5's end for about a year. And then last week, a gamesindustry.biz article comes out saying that they're pretty much starting to shut down their offices in North America, and the chances of localization for anything are slim, which is sending the entire Yokai Watch fan base, which I am in connection with the majority of at this point, into a tizzy. Uh, so yeah, there was a lot of it was just speculation for a while, but then another 4chan thread popped up with an ex-employee saying like, I don't have all the screenshots on me right now. I like did not prepare, but basically the COO of the company, who is managing the localization companies that they outsource to, is like totally awful. They finished Snack World and Yokai Watch 3 in like early 2018 or something like that, and sat on them forever. Their first draft of Snack World with like all the crappy lines in it was like they were forced to take the first draft and publish it because Level 5 just like did not put any effort into editing it at all. And it's just like there's a few more examples, but it was just kind of a disaster all around. And the long and short of it is Yokai Watch 4 is canceled, as far as we know. This is all like anonymous ex-staffers like talking about this, but honestly, I could believe it. The writing's
So
been on the wall.
so this is kind of stuff me and Curb at least have like kind of known about for almost like a year now. Like a lot of like this kind of
I'm sorry, I've been going on there for this. For
no,
so
it's
long.
I think it's good to like get the whole story out there so like we understand what's happening. Yeah, we've kind of known that Level 5 like US branch was a mess for a while. We kind of figured, and all that's happened recently is that we're like almost confirmed. And I felt like this was writing on the wall for a while because both the third game got like a very limited release. I don't think 2 and Busters did very well. Like they did okay probably at best. And then Snack World got like
Okay,
let me tell you how Snack
was also limited print.
let me tell you how Snack World did in the US. Nobody talked about it except Vinny Vinesauce streamed it once and said he hated it. It was all the publicity Snack World got in the West. Was
Yeah,
Vinesauce said he
Snack World-
hated it.
Snack World was just a tragedy all around. Another thing that thread brought up was that they were trying to get a TV deal for the anime, but they saw that the game ended up being rated T because they accepted the crappy script that they drafted, and they turned it down. So the anime was like doomed to Crunchyroll, half finished. So yeah, that was just like a whole other mismanagement. But Yokai is unfortunate.
Yeah,
But-
I think Level 5 just kind of kept shooting for the moon in the West. I think they weren't ready to accept that, like, Yokai Watch was going to be a niche thing in the West, and they wanted it to be big.
Yeah.
I like the anime, but I'm going to be blunt. I think doing things like the anime and blasters might have been too much too fast for, like, a series
Yeah,
that's, like, going to be small in the
it
West.
It was a lot of hubris. I think I remember Hino has said in articles and interviews that he was not happy when Yokai Watch 1 was only a million seller internationally and did like 500K in the US. And from there, it just kind of started to down spiral into like as soon as Yokai Watch started declining at all, it was throwing spaghetti at the wall until it sticks. And it's been like that for the last 3 years. And that's how we're at now. It's a tokusatsu middle school AU/alternate timeline where aliens are about to destroy the world.
Yeah, also, I think bringing Snack World over in general was a fucking mistake.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know what they thought they were doing with that.
But
Because,
yeah,
like, they were trying to capitalize off Adventure Time vibes, but, like, Adventure Time was over for, like, 3 years, 2 years. something like
I
that.
don't
That's
think they
really
also
cool.
grasped what people liked about Adventure Time
Yeah,
besides
exactly.
main character with dot eyes and wacky people.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much that. So, yeah, that's the state of Yokai Watch, and there is like some people have brought up the possibility that they'll just keep doing localization at their Japanese offices, but I kind of see it unlikely that they'll be able to invest the effort and the resources, especially because companies that they have outsourced to that have been under Level 5's management have now complained about it. There were Glassdoor reviews that came out a couple of years ago also saying how horrible the COO was. So now nobody wants to work with them. They're not doing great in Japan. Most of their franchises except Yokai are dormant, and Yokai is going in whatever weird direction Yokai is in. So it's they're kind of on fire.
Yeah, Level 5 as a whole, like even like beyond the Western branch thing, they've been kind of known to like just throw shit at the wall and hope for the best. And this isn't a knock at anything they've like made post like original Yokai Watch series. Like I like Shadowside, for example, and I can respect the idea of Y Academy. The problem is they do them way too fast and don't give them any time to. Because Shadowside was almost like barely around for 2 years, pretty much, and then it was gone.
Y Academy feels like really like Hino is just writing something completely off the walls. Like I am not gonna go into the whole Y Academy plot here because that would take all night. But basically, it's like aliens destroyed the yokai world at the end of the reboot, and like they're all reincarnated as middle schoolers. Sorry.
Oh yeah, every single Yokai Watch character is dead.
The absolute most batshit plot you could think of for Yokai Watch. If you haven't followed Yokai Watch in years, you are probably already scratching your head. And I'm one of the people translating it, and I have no fucking clue what's going on ever. So that's the state of Yokai Watch. Also, I should mention probably they know we're fan subbing it, so they are probably depending on us in a sense maybe. So
God.
that's a thing that's a little scary, but yeah.
Also, that world looks awful.
I'm sorry because I know my teammate that's subbing Snackworld is in the chat, but yeah, I don't like Snackworld either.
I think I could see what the problem here was though. They're so focused on Yokai Watch, they never decided to Yokai listen.
Fuck off! That was like the funniest fucking joke in the world. It's like 4.
Yokai Watch like gave them a massive like hubris basically ever since 2014.
No,
I think it doomed them in a sense. You know, I like Yokai Watch obviously, or else I wouldn't be dedicating years of my life to translating it.
I think it's fun.
Yeah,
oh, go on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it like kind of destroyed their whole company's like worldview, and I think that's kind of what sent them down the drain eventually in terms of like going all in and putting all their eggs in one basket, and now they have nothing to show for it.
Yeah,
not necessarily nothing, but they you know.
I mean, for reference, there were 3 mainline Yokai Watch games in about 5 years.
Yeah, that's like imagine if like Gens 1 to 4 of Pokemon came out from like 1996 to 1999. That's kind of where Yokai Watch is at in a sense.
There was also the fact that they attempted like the 2 different versions in the 3rd game.
Yeah, they did do that for the 2nd and 3rd, and then they dropped it. Although here we only ever got they did it for Blasters, but here we only ever got one version of 3, which is probably like the definitive edition of the game. Unfortunately, they printed like 2 copies of it, so.
This is just this for me. This is like I'm watching like Disney XD, and this thing is on TV.
I know.
I'm so sorry. And then like a year later, no. I'm talking like Yokai Watch is like it had a TV show on Disney XD. I'm like, oh, what's this like slightly intriguing thing? Let me, and then like a year later, it's like gone.
Yeah,
there's no more. Where'd it go?
Got consistently screwed in terms of air times. I think from its inception, but especially when season 3 started. Season 3 had like half the budget of Rose's Garden. Season 3 had like half the budget of the first 2. They like replaced the whole cast and everything. I didn't see all of it, but it's kind of a shame that it really went under the radar because it introduced one of the better human characters in the series, which is Inaho/Haley-Ann.
Yeah, every character in like the second half of this, like the 3rd season of the show, which is when Inaho and Usopp joined the main cast, had to get their voice actors changed. Because I think the first season used union voice actors, right, and the 2nd season didn't, right? That's what kind of the thing was.
Yeah, something like that.
And it's not the worst thing in the world for like Nate and Javanyan, but you can really fucking tell with like Whisper, like no disrespect to the no disrespect.
Whisper.
They got really lucky. They got really lucky with like Inaho's voice actor getting like a good
yeah,
one.
yeah, her voice sound good. I never watched the Yokai Watch 3 cutscenes in English. I have barely seen anything of Yokai Watch 3 in English because I played in Japanese like years and years ago. But it does seem like they did a pretty decent job with the localization, considering they were giving the dilemma of they're moving from Japan to America, and the game was set in America in the
That's
first
right.
place. In the West,
The America.
they handled it the best they could.
Let me explain. So in Yokai Watch 3, the plot is Kita, who lives in Japan, goes to America, but the localization made the change that the game takes place in America, like no matter what. So when he goes to America in the English version, he just goes to a place called BBQ, which is more American than the rest of America.
It's really something.
And there's a really awkward joke because in the original thing, the idea was he can't speak English. There's a scene where like he's trying to understand someone because he can't speak English, so he has to find a yokai who can let him speak English. And the Western release, they change it to he can't get the accent on like all the Texan people, so he needs a yokai to understand the Texan accent.
It's really ridiculous. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure it was like the marketers who decided like this had to be like a 90s, early 2000s style market, kind of like what they used to do with Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh and all that. So the translators were just stuck with this absolute stupid fucking predicament. With the fan subs, I usually do like my script is not. I try not to make the script dry, but I keep the Japanese references in because I honestly think like if they marketed it as like it's it's Japanese and there's Japanese culture in it, I kind of thought that maybe kids would like it more because like kids love anime now. It's a lot more mainstream. It might be like a learning experience in a sense, even though like a lot of the yokai are made up.
I mean, straight up, I can't believe more like channels and like studios aren't hopping on the fact that like anime is kind of a mainstream thing now.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, like you see it in like little jokes like the Animaniacs thing, but like yeah, it's really like I worked at a summer camp last year, and like these 11-year-olds were talking about JoJo's on the sports field, and it's like wow, and they were talking about watching it with subs, and it's like this is like something that a lot of people are into now.
No, totally. I'll go on.
I was gonna say, and like by real like experience, I had like a lot of friends that really like to go eat like Eastern food and like get into like the Eastern stuff.
Looking back at like 4Kids, a lot of 4Kids stuff is just like crazy how it feels like weird how they like try to erase like as much traces of like another culture as possible.
It was really, really weird.
Digitally edit food so it looks American.
Yeah, that was so fucking stupid. I mean, it kind of worked all right with stuff like Pokemon because it's not really. I mean, Kanto and a lot of the early regions are clearly like based on Japan. One was literally named fucking Kanto, but otherwise Pokemon's a pretty a pretty ambiguous world. But like I don't know, once you got into stuff like that was really set in Japan. Like, I think Yu-Gi-Oh is Yu-Gi-Oh set in just Japan. Because
Sonic X is like fully set in Japan, and Kirby Right Back Ash has a lot of like Japan centric. Yeah, Sonic X takes place in Japan. I'm pretty sure.
Oh really? I thought it was an America parody.
It might be. I'm not sure, but I know for a fact.
I'm pretty sure. I thought it was American.
But I do know for a fact Kirby Right Back Ash has a lot of episodes like about Japanese culture stuff, which made it awkward too.
And that's the problem with Yokai Watch. It's like most of the episodes are like that to some extent. They never got to the part in the anime where they really start contrasting Japanese and American culture, where like they bring in Tomyan and stuff.
Yeah,
that would have been just like, how do you even write around that if you're pretending it was already in America? It's like they have the whole later they have the whole segment about like Danmura, I think is how they localized him, like going around and learning about Japanese culture, and like the Koma Bros going through Japan. It would have been a mess if the dub continued. All right. Yeah, I think that's more or less what I have to say on the topic.
Okay.
I might end up talking about it more later in other venues because this is like my my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the situation.
All right. Does anyone have any like last things they want to say about like level 5 or Yokai Watch? I guess.
I'm sorry, I went off.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
That's why we have you on here to talk.
Yeah, that's my role.
My last.
Whatever
go on.
Level 1. Whatever happened to level 1, 2, 3, and 4?
The failed versions in an alternate timeline.
Last thing I want to say
It
is
all comes together.
we've mostly talked about the Western branch of Level 5 tonight, but I think it should be noted, like, all of Level 5 is, like, they jump on, like, any opportunity they can all the time, and it has bitten them in the butt, like, constantly. Like, there's, like,
Yeah.
they, like, tried to have, like, 4 separate Yokai Watch mobile apps going at once, and one of them failed so badly, it got, like, one update and then died.
Yeah. The one of the, like, most of them are shutting down. Well, not most of them. The only one that makes a lot of money still is Puni Puni, and maybe the Son Goku one. But yeah, I could write an entire essay. I probably will at some point about how like screwed up it is, like in all aspects of this company. But yeah.
Someone's asking in chat, I couldn't give you an update on, like, what the state of the Layton series is. That seems to be the most stable thing from what I can gather, but I don't know.
I think I heard briefly about it. I think one of the big issues was that the original puzzle maker for the first 6 games died, and then after that, in Catriel Layton, people were not super jazzed with the puzzles because they weren't as good. And I think it got an anime 50 episodes that was relatively successful in Japan. But
Yeah.
like, but Layton kind of like now that it's not the DS era, and that was like the best possible platform for the kind of game Layton is. And the fact that they took a long time to localize, the buzz just kind of died down a lot. And yeah, I think it's also sort of in a bit of a limbo because I don't think Catriel Layton took off like they wanted it to. Yeah, every level 5 franchise is in a limbo except Yokai Watch with Y Academy, and so like Inazuma 11 especially is just I feel so bad for fans of that series.
Okay, so I guess the other kind of big thing that happened this week is for the first time in like 30, 40 years, I think, the Peanuts Halloween special is not airing on ABC. It'll be an Apple TV streaming exclusive.
You know, that platform everybody has.
Apple TV is the most, like, I don't know. I can't, for some reason, of like every single streaming service, except like maybe like stuff like Quibi. That's not even like.
Well, we all know what happened to Quibi.
Fucking Quibi.
But like, whenever I see like exclusively streaming on Apple TV, that's like the, I don't know. For some reason, Apple TV, that just sounds so cheap. I associate that with like what is it like a new like product, like a new like thing you have. You have
Yeah.
to buy an Apple
I didn't
TV.
realize Apple TV was a streaming service. I thought it was kind of like a hosting. Well, those are kind of the same thing. I don't know fuck about streaming
Like an
services.
iTunes. It's like
Yeah.
the same with like Apple Arcade. I'm like, this phone
Yeah, well, I don't know
game?
what
Like Angry
that
Birds.
is either.
This-
So I feel like, you know, on Apple TV, I feel like the only reason the show Central Park didn't do very good is because it was fucking shoved on like Apple TV. I feel like that show would have done better literally anywhere else.
Yeah, that could have been on like Hulu. People would have watched it if it was on Hulu.
Because it's a pretty decent show. It just nobody talked about it because it was on fucking Apple TV.
Yeah. Yep.
I feel like they might just like when this kind of stuff happens, they just jump at the chance to get like the first streaming service they can. That'll be like a reasonable deal, and so like it ends up on one that's least optimal, and then it like fades. Something like that. I don't know. I totally know how business works.
But yeah, the Peanuts thing. This is apparently a big deal for like a lot of people because I've heard that the Peanuts Halloween special is like a big thing for like a lot of low income families, like watching that. And like now that's locked by this, I don't know. It feels shitty to like lock something that feels like it's kind of a big deal for a lot of low income families, like behind a streaming service. I don't know.
That reminds me of the same thing happening with like Sesame Street, where the new episodes are exclusive for a period of time to HBO Max, and it really is kind of a punch to the gut because Sesame Street, like its whole reason for existence was to give low-income families and like minority neighborhoods like affordable education.
I'm gonna give Sesame Street a bit of a break here because they literally had to do it. Like the show would have died if they didn't. Yeah, no, the show.
Really?
Yeah, the show was like running out of money because like the merch wasn't selling as good. They literally had to like make a deal or the show would have died. It's a bit of like because people often like share the headline only and nothing else, but the actual story is merch for the show wasn't selling as good. And if they didn't like cut a deal with HBO Max for new episodes to air first on HBO Max, then it would have just died completely.
Oh wow. I had no idea. I mean, I kind of thought it was still doing as well as ever. I mean, it's Sesame Street.
Yeah.
And I think Abby Cadabby is like really popular or something. Wow,
so,
I did not.
So the only like thing with it is like new episodes air first on HBO Max, but like it still airs for free on like PBS.
I didn't know that it comes on later, but it's just like I don't know. It still felt scummy, but yeah.
Yeah, it is definitely like a weird like when you hear that at first you're like, whoa, what's going on there? But you know they do have the thing where, and like also there's like so many episodes you could
That's true.
rerun that are kind of timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like what 40 years worth. So
Yeah, it was a
Or
ton.
50 years. They just had the anniversary.
Yeah. Oh yeah, what was that? What were we talking? Peanuts.
Yeah, we're just talking about like
so we went
Peanuts.
off a little bit.
Well, I feel like there's not much to talk about with that. It just kind of brings it to like a larger point about streaming services and like stuff. Like it leads to stuff like, oh, low-income families can't watch like a thing that they like to watch anymore because streaming.
Yeah.
It's just really.
It's just a problem. Like everything's on streaming or cable TV, and so like what are these people who can't afford to do?
There's just kind of I think this is like not a hot take, but there's way too many fucking streaming services. One of them's gonna burst eventually.
Oh yeah. I think like eventually they're all gonna like shit themselves, and everything's gonna go to Netflix. Maybe Hulu will stick around.
Guys, hold on. Wait, hold on. But Waxis is gonna save us. Everything's just gonna go to Waxis.
Oh my god, that's right.
What the hell is Waxis?
It's Butch
Waxis.
It's Butch Hartman's streaming service. He's totally making.
Oh yeah, that's right.
This
He's
ain't gonna
trying
be
to
no
do that.
Noog network.
I love the things he does when he tries to advertise like his fucking Waxis, and he puts images of like the Avengers like on it, like implied he's gonna somehow get the rights to the Avengers to put on his streaming service.
Oh, okay. It's Oaxis. I thought you said like the Waxis, and I'm like, what is this, Madame Tussauds Museum, Butch Hartman? I'm like, no. Alright.
Maybe
Yeah.
advertise Captain America reading the Bible.
That I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like it could happen. I mean, that you could go off on a whole tangent about like how superheroes turned into like the opposite of what it was, because now it's very like corporate. But that's a topic for not this podcast, probably. There's probably papers on it.
All right. What else?
Well, I wrote in our notes the Smurfs ? Apparently ?
Did they release
everybody.
anything on it? besides,
Everybody, listen up. New Smurfs coming 2021. A new Smurfs cartoon. The first animated Smurfs cartoon series since the 80s. Yeah.
Well,
And then
the
they're gonna
90s.
do a trailer where they pop out of the grave and they sign an exclusivity deal with Netflix. And they talk about their first lines.
Oh.
And there's no originality in Hollywood. Okay. So
And then they're gonna Smurf splain.
Smurf.
That's what
Never
Smurf
Smurf
is.
Splainy. That's gonna Smurf. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And then then the Smurf is gonna be a Smurfette boss.
Yeah. Smurf Vader Ginsburg.
Smurfette's gonna be like toxic masculinity and like Deck Brainy in the head.
Yes. But yeah, there was a trailer released for it like a week ago, and nobody talked about it. Can't believe that the Smurf heads have not been coming out of the woodwork.
Wait, I thought it was just like that 30-second preview that like one of you posted like 2 hours ago.
30 seconds is way too generous. It's 16 seconds long.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's like one
but yeah.
teaser of it.
Long enough to drive.
I think the only info on it is that it's gonna air in America on Nickelodeon. And it's gonna have the animation from the most recent movie, the animated one.
Can
The
I
Lost
just
Village.
Can I just say that the contents of the 16 seconds trailer are also like the most nothing thing in the world. It's like the most basic cartoon gag. Like, oh, it's a president, it explodes, and that's it. That's the joke. This is like
That's jokey Smurf.
It's gonna be
It's
so revolutionary. Release the Smurfs in the modern age.
This is what we need right now. You know, this is what our nation.
is-
This is what our nation.
It's gonna
needs.
bring us together. The Smurfs saved 2020. I'm sorry, 2021. Wait, was
Yeah.
it 2020 or 2021? Who the hell knows?
It's next
Fine.
year.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like I have a weird. I don't talk about this a lot, but I do. I have like sort of a close relationship with Smurf family.
Yeah.
I remember like the first one came out. I think I saw that in the movie theater. And I watched Smurfs 2 in the movie theater.
See, you're shrinking. Why are you shrinking?
I'm what? I'm
You're
shrinking.
shrinking. Yeah, why are you shrinking? You're turning blue.
I'm turning blue. I'm 3 apples high.
That's CP Smurf.
Oh, this this might be, and I don't say this lightly. This could turn out to be the most faithful and best Smurfs product to be released in the past 30 years. I said it.
That is a bold statement, but maybe you're right. You're the Smurf expert.
I mean, I know the bar is pretty high with Hank Azaria, Gargamel, and the Porta Potty.
What? Is that what happened in the second movie?
That's in the first one, I think.
Oh, I don't
dark
remember
and
that.
cannibal magic in there.
I
He
don't
like
remember
walked out of a
that.
porta potty. Come on, none of you have anything to say about the Smurfs.
No.
Don't you know any?
Like
Can you
a
name
pink-
any Smurfs?
Like this Hank Azaria looks like he's in constant pain.
Well, I guess that's what happens when you're in the first Smurf.
Well,
movie.
I do really like the plot from the first Smurfs movie, where the Smurfs come to New York and they meet up with an advertising manager, and then he gets inspired by the Smurfs because they actually make it the Blue Moon, and then he gets promoted, and then he goes, "I don't want a bunch of little people running around my house," and then the wife
Yeah, well,
puts
I
a
think
fan to her
they're
stomach and looks like offended.
I think they're lying. I've been to Manhattan my entire life, like a million times. And I saw no Smurfs. I saw no Alvin and the Chipmunks. Oh wait, is that in New York? I don't know where they all are.
Oh, that's what it's all gonna lead to. Like, all the live-action cartoon movies are all gonna meet up in New York, and it's gonna be like Yogi meets the Smurfs and Alvin the Chipmunks, and they gotta, like, stop, like, who's, like, the cartoon villain for, like, this movie?
Did you almost say Dick Dastardly?
I almost
think
said-
it should be Dick Dastardly.
Yeah, does that be Dick Ashley?
Again.
Why not? Who cares? Yeah. I hope they have Gutsy Smurf. Remember Gutsy Smurf?
I can name like 2 Smurfs.
Name 2 Smurfs.
Okay, Papa Smurf, Brainy Smurf.
Yep.
You did it!
You can name more than that. Come on, come on.
You gotta name 2 more.
Well, you said
What about the
that-
emo Smurfs from the Smurfs 2?
Oh, I don't freaking emo Smurf. What are they called? Emo-y? I mean, yeah, I don't remember. My Smurfs exposure is a little bit limited.
Kitty Smurf, Dixie Smurf, Smurf Incidental number 8.
Donkey Smurf.
Donkey Smurf, Cranky Smurf. Wait, is Cranky Smurf an actual Smurf?
Yeah.
There's Grouchy.
Close enough.
I love Smurf Incidental 8.
Smurf Incidental. Yeah.
King K Smurf.
I don't know. I guess I don't have much to say about the Smurfs.
I guess we could talk about, like, that extends to, like, the Nickelodeon's, like, lineup, which is all just old, like, nothing new. It's just, like, reboots of things.
What about
That's
Alvin?
the direction everybody's going in now, isn't it? Besides, like, all the original cartoons end up like you know, like Kipo and Owl House and stuff like that are all like on just TV. Wait, no, Kipo's not on TV. I don't know.
Because, okay, so they released an ad for, like, their new stuff, and about half of it is just old stuff. There's Camp Coral, which is SpongeBob. There's the Rugrats reboot, which that was actually our first look at that in general. And there's that one kid from the comics. I don't know his fucking name. I don't care.
Big Nate.
Big Nate, yeah.
That's news. We should
Hey,
talk
Big
about
Nate.
that. What do we think about the CGI Rugrats?
I
Like,
didn't
I don't know. They look fine.
The Rugrats,
Yeah.
and they're in CG.
Honestly, when they first announced that like a year ago or something, they're like, we're gonna have like a new I think they said like live action CGI Rugrats.
Yeah.
series, something like that. And the first image that pops in your head when you hear those words is like the most disgusting, like, because I mean, you know, classic Shupo cartoons, they're not like, I mean, like they're ugly. They don't look bad, but they're like really, they
Yeah.
have like an ugly look to them. And just imagining that in CGI, I could only imagine just the most like grotesque, like weird, like how is Tommy Pickles gonna look in 3D? Like, is it gonna be like a Wii game? Is it gonna be like Globs of Doom graphics or something? You know, it looks all right.
It's weird because it's hard to, like, I feel like I should have an opinion on this. Like, these are like all baby shows. I don't have a hot take about baby
Is it
shows.
Nickelodeon doing like the Baby Sharks show, or am I like?
I
did
think, yeah.
No, that's true. That's real.
Like, I don't. It's
Yeah,
like,
I've seen Baby Shark show merchandise in my
with
store.
with like Camp Coral, beyond like the moral
That's
implications,
not real, Rosa. Don't post that.
beyond like
What?
the, I need to put this on screen. Hold on. Beyond the moral implications of Camp Coral that we don't have the full story on, I don't care. It's a fucking baby show for SpongeBob. It's like a baby's. I don't care. It's a show for like 4-year-olds. I'm 21 years old. I can't have a hot take about a show for toddlers.
I mean, I only watch shows for babies, and I'm 20.
I guess. You're sort of there.
Camp Coral is such a like. There's so much like about it right now. So much discussion, and I feel like it's the kind of thing where once it's like aired, that's gonna drop off so fast. No
Yeah.
one's even gonna remember it. There's like. Yeah.
So, quick explanation. This is an image of Chucky that a lot of articles use when announcing this. That isn't a real image. It's just a fake one, like an artist made.
Does this look better than the real one?
Maybe I'll put the real one on screen too, to give like a comparison.
I've seen nothing.
Because
the real one is like it's like they like a lot of recent CGI has been able to do, where like it looks like it's pretty faithful to the like the 2D art, but it's just like textured.
Oh my god, it's huge. There's Big Nate too, everyone's favorite character.
I was shocked when I saw Big Nate because like I remember at reading those. I'm really dating myself as a Zoomer now. But yeah, that series has been over for a few years. I think so I'm surprised that it's getting a cartoon now. But yeah, cool, I guess.
Yep.
Big
Yeah.
Nate.
Oh, yeah.
Big Nate was like one of those like book series that came out a lot in like mid 2000s, more like early 2010s. Since Diary of a Wimpy Kid, that were basically trying to be the same thing. There are a few of them around that time.
Yeah, if there's one thing I give Camp Coral as a 21-year-old who just doesn't care about like a show for 4-year-olds, it is a very faithful adaptation of the art style. That's about it.
Yeah, they look. Yeah. I mean, they look like they'll sell plushies.
Yeah,
they did try to. They had something for movie theaters.
You're right.
Oh, that's right. Weren't they gonna sell like plushies or something at the movie theaters for Sponge on the Run, or did I conflating?
Yeah. I mean, you could go on about like all the like tie-ins they had made for Sponge on the Run that got like fucked over because of the virus.
Well, how did it do? Did it like sell on streaming and stuff? Well, I know it was in theaters in Canada.
No, it didn't. It hasn't come out on streaming.
Yeah, much to my dismay.
It came out in like China, I think.
It came out in Canada for like a week.
I thought it came out like everywhere except America. I thought it was like well, I guess not.
I think they were planning to do that, but I don't know if it's actually happened yet, because I think the only rips of it are still from like movie theater camera rips.
Oh yeah, they did not think the implications of like releasing the movie super early through. Like they just did not take into account people with pirated.
So like, let's see if we can like shift to Sponge on the Run real quick, because I think that's a good transition to that. Sponge on the Run's release has been a disaster. So with like a Scoob and like Trolls World Tour, they kind of like just like, okay, theaters aren't happening, just put these on a streaming service. Like they kind of just fessed up. They did get delayed, but not by too much. They waited till like the week before Sponge on the Run was supposed to come out to like say it was going to a streaming service. It got delayed by like 3 months.
Yeah, they delayed it a lot. There's probably like 4 different release dates for this movie.
Yeah,
that you could find.
And I think the thing is, it's coming to like, what is it, Peacock Plus or whatever in America, and then Netflix, and then Netflix everywhere else. And it's like, well, time to get a VPN. I'm not fucking getting Peacock Plus just to watch Sponge on the Run.
What is Peacock Plus? I've never heard of this until right now at this exact moment in time.
So it's like a Peacock, and they sort of like glued on like a plus symbol onto it.
Damn, well, Rose has got it.
It's the Office streaming service. That's what it's gonna be called when it comes out. The streaming service that has The Office.
I'm not getting. I'll just get a VPN to watch Sponge on the Run. I'm not fucking getting the Peacock Plus just for this movie.
The release of this is such a like sloppy like. We have to sap as much money out of SpongeBob as we can. Like we need to plan. We can't just like drop it. We have to like. This needs to be on like Peacock Plus. This needs to be in theaters. It needs to be this. Just to a point where it's like, it's weird. It's just weird.
Yeah, they did because Pixar is also putting Soul on Disney Plus now. It's not behind like a price swell like Mulan. I think Mulan probably did fucking terrible.
Oh yeah,
it kind of deserved to.
It did. Yeah. But Soul's just been putting on Disney Plus. Which is
when was Soul supposed to come out originally? I
think
about it.
I think they only delayed it like a week or so. Like it was. I think it's pretty close to when it was supposed to come out.
Was it supposed to be this year? I thought it was next
Yeah,
year.
yeah, it was this year. It was still this year.
I like forgot everything that's supposed to be this year because like movies like instantly evaporated from my brain as,
I can-
as soon as all the theaters shut down. But I think like I think Sonic the Hedgehog is probably gonna end up winning like movie of the year or something.
Okay, so yeah, it didn't get
The only one.
it didn't get delayed too bad. It was supposed to come out in November, and now it's coming to Disney Plus in December instead.
Oh, okay. That's not. Yeah, that's okay then.
And I think Disney's gonna like take the L eventually and do that with like everything they have like they're holding because they're gonna have to like release their stupid fucking Black Widow movie eventually, and I don't think they can pay well that one either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do they? Oh, the Black Widow movie is such a weird like.
Can I just say,
I can't spoil too much.
I'm
As-
not really.
Oh, go on, Rosa.
Oh, sorry.
No, you
I'm
go
not
first.
really interested in watching a movie about a tree.
The
Tree?
A tree. A Black Widow is a spider, Rosa. I think you're thinking of a willow.
I mean, it's Scarlett Johansson. I think she's really well known for her acting skills of like being a tree.
Right, yeah.
Like she says she could play anyone, and yes, she only knows how to play a tree.
You know, I don't know, Black Widow's weird to me because as like a girl, their whole thing, Black Widow's whole thing is she's the girl hero, and like we as women are supposed to respect another fellow woman. I don't give a shit.
I mean, they did that with Captain Marvel, except they added military propaganda too.
I would have been more interested in literally any other Marvel girl. They could have made like the Mantis movie. I've been more excited.
Could have made the Squirrel Girl movie.
Could have made the Squirrel Girl. I wonder if they'll do Miss who's like the stretchy lady. That's Miss Marvel, right?
Is it? I don't know.
Let me
I
check.
don't really know about.
Is that the DC woman?
Oh yeah, that's a stretchy girl, Miss Marvel. I see a movie about her. I don't care about Black Widow at all.
And even like from like the perspective of like if you think of like people who like are fans of like the Marvel movies characters, like I've watched most of them. It was such a weird decision because Avengers Endgame spoilers for like the highest grossing movie of all time that everyone has seen and who wants to see it. But like it's weird that the way they did like so they kill off Black Widow and then they announce they're doing a movie about Black Widow and it's just weird like to do that. Like why didn't you give her a movie before you killed her off? Like wouldn't that have made it more like people would have gotten more invested and cared about that more?
I think the
Like-
MCU they had I think they had the Black Widow movie planned like long before Endgame came out. Like they would release periodically like entire movie timelines that span for like 5 years. So I'm pretty sure this was like announced stealthily.
Can I be blunt? I just don't think they gave a shit about Black Widow. They just like
Maybe
it
maybe
seems like
not.
that.
Maybe I'm giving them too much credit.
I think the only reason they're doing Black Widow now is they finally got like backlash for not giving any focus to the woman. Go on, Rosa.
I was gonna say it's sort of like on the wall, and like a lot of her plots are just really tied to like other heroes, and then like a really unimportant one. I feel like they sort of had her killed off because like people could really like I guess people care more about like what's his face?
Hawkeye.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. It was like, who can we afford to kill?
Yeah, I was gonna say, watching that scene, I'm like, oh man, I wonder which one of the expendable heroes they're gonna kill off.
And then didn't they just like shaft Hawkeye out of a movie to put him on like Disney Plus or something or some?
Yeah, he's doing like a Disney Plus thing.
I guess this is what was that say? This is Marvel punishing Black Widow for not having kids.
Oh my god.
I guess speaking of Marvel, there's like rumors about like what the next Spider-Man movie is going to be like, and if it is like a multiverse thing, it's gonna be so funny because it's just gonna be Spider-Verse but not as good.
It's just gonna be Spider-Verse, but they're all 3 adult white guys.
Yeah, because
sorry, 2 adult white guys and 1 teenage white guy. A lot of variety.
Space Jam of Marvel movies.
Because the whole thing.
Somebody asked about the real Spider-Verse too, and I think didn't they delay it?
I probably got delayed a bit. Everything
I
got
think
delayed.
now it's 2022. I think.
But The thing about Spider-Verse, I'm not the first person to bring this up. The whole point of like it's like Spider-Cast was the point of the movie was anyone could be a hero. Like anyone could be Spider-Man. That's why there was like a large variety of like spider people in the movie, right? And I feel like just having like three, like, you know, like we said, adult white dudes is like, well, what does this mean besides just fan service?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that's the thing where like um it is like a pretty fan service thing, and I think as that like, it's like, whatever. Like you have like the live action Spider-Mans and like I don't it's probably I don't even know how big of a thing it would be.
It
Like
probably would be for like the sector that grew up with those
right.
movies.
But I'm
I
just
think it
thinking
could
like
be fine in like a cute scene or something like that, but they're gonna make a whole movie about that? Like,
yeah, well that's the thing I'm not sure. Like I think that there's been like they said like they're gonna have like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, but I don't know if like that's what the whole movie is gonna be
uh,
I
necessarily.
hope not.
It
That would be
it,
like
it Yeah,
weird.
it seems it to me it feels like something that would be best done if they had like a pretty like, oh look at this like cool scene. Um but not really like focus the whole movie. I because I feel like the movie's was is gonna be more like Doctor Strange and
yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Right.
I do feel like in general, if that is like the main focus of that movie, I think it's a little fucked in like the long run because like it'll be like a thing that gets talked about for like a month, but I don't think if they tried to do like a live action Spider Verse, it would have the impact of the I thwomp. It would have the impact of like what the animated one was
The
like the
what
biggest,
noises
where it
inside.
was like the biggest thing in the world for like a long time.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the live action Spider-Mans are pretty popular, and I
Yeah.
think there are a
Right.
lot of people who seen those and could probably be like, it makes some good like, oh, when like the trailer drops, this is gonna be like a great like trailer drop thing,
Yeah, I
you
feel
know?
like that's like the only reason they're doing it. It's gonna be a trailer drop, everybody goes nuts moment. But like,
Yeah.
I can see why they're doing it. I'm not saying nobody's like attached to those Spider-Men, but I don't
hmm
know if it can really hold up a whole movie substance
Yeah.
wise.
Plus, like, also again, like Spider Verse was also not just about like the Spider-Man story, but it was also a big story for like its place in animation and new
Mm.
creating using new techniques and
Yeah.
like really just like combining like 2D methods and with 3D.
I mean, like, I think like the impact Spider Verse had like on animated movies is something we're probably gonna end up seeing eventually. Look, we're still gonna get to that point.
hmm
Oh, definitely. I mean, it deserves it. I think it's
Mm.
it's definitely defining
No, I
in
think
a
so,
sense.
I think Spider Verse doing as well as it did is probably gonna shake up a lot of like things in the animation world.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
This is the last thing we talk about before we like get to like what we played or watched this week.
Oh yeah,
What do we all think of
we
what do we all
definitely.
think of the Bob's Burgers movie being a thing?
I I think it's so funny, because like I go to like Comic Con. I think I went for a few years, and they had the digital event a few months ago, and like every year for like the past like 3 or 4 years, like the Bob's Burgers panel, they've always said like, "Oh yeah, we're working on a movie, by the way." Um, yeah. Anyway, and they like haven't been able to show anything about it. And like this year, they were like, "Oh yeah, we have these backgrounds that we drew for the Bob's Burgers movie, and let me tell you, these really look full, but we can't really show that yet." And it's just so it's it's weird. Like, why? Like, it was going to come out this year
Yeah,
at some
yeah.
point, so it must be like at some point where they could show something from it or share any kind of details at all.
Yeah,
It's
because
such an enigma right now.
we haven't got like a single thing for the movie. Like not a single like screen from the movie or anything.
Yeah. No, like, stills, they couldn't show a single background from the movie. Nothing. No plot details.
Because I'm curious what it's gonna look like. Because like I don't know what it's gonna. It's probably like a slightly probably like have more. Because whenever like cartoons get movies, they usually have like more shading. That's like one of the big things.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
are any thoughts on the Bob's Burgers movie?
Uh, see it. I haven't watched Bob's Burgers since like around when it first came out. I mean, I remember liking it. I haven't kept up
Mhm.
with it.
It's so weird. Like, what can they really make a movie about? Because like the thing about like Bob's Burger is that like these characters are like had like very small, unambitious journey, and it's sort of just funny to look at.
Now hear me out. I know what the plot's gonna be. An evil CEO is gonna come to town and try to tear up the neighborhood, and then Gene and I forgot their names all the time. I feel like an idiot. I don't know.
Oh, Louise and Tina. I think?
Okay, Gene and Louise are gonna like become spies, like secret agent spies, and then regular size Rudy's gonna help them like behind the scenes, and then he's gonna like uncover his mask and he's going to speech about how he loved Louise the entire time, and they're gonna kiss, and then
It's
Gene...
a Hey Arnold movie.
You right. Ding 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 ding. You got the joke.
Oh, I thought you were making a Lego movie joke or something.
The plot of the movie is the town's gonna be placed under a giant dome.
I was gonna say that. Like the EPA, like Mr. Fish Soda keeps contaminating like the wharf. And so the EPA comes in and places the okay.
And then Bob's gonna step inside his burger shop and go, "No!" It's gonna zoom out to shut the whole dome. Alright.
I think it's gonna have good music.
I'll probably.
That's a prediction I have. The show has pretty good like musical numbers, and I think it's gonna be a music. I'm assuming it's gonna be a musical.
Okay. I guess we can do the thing where we talk about what we watched or played this week. We're pretty late in, like we always do at this part. There actually was a lot to talk about this week because we missed 2 weeks. Like I guess we'll just do a one per person. What is the most interesting thing you watched or played this week? So just go for it. Whoever wants to go first.
So I need time to think. Somebody else go first.
Yeah, Rosa usually has something. Rosa, what did you watch or play or read this week? You usually have something to talk about.
The thing is, I have 3 things I want to talk about.
All right. What's the one you're most into? What were you most into this week?
Okay, so I guess in terms of this, I'll technically say 2 things, but like I guess in quick, I will say like watch the first 5 episodes of Great Pretenders, because like the less you know about it, the wild it gets.
Okay.
So that's what I'm gonna say on that subject. But I think I watched. I can say Vampires versus the Bronx for another time.
Okay.
No. Actually, okay, no. I'll talk about that Kung Fu Panda next week.
Okay, because I can talk about Kung Fu Panda with you next week.
Here the
Yeah.
legends of the Kung Fu
It's always
Panda.
fun to talk about Kung Fu Panda.
All right, go on, Rosa. Talk about what you think about Vampires versus the Bronx.
So it's, I guess to say at least it's like a very cheesy, very corny movie in some way, but like it's sort of just like obviously low budget. Like it's not bad looking or anything, but it's also like, oh, it was a small production. It's basically like takes place in the Bronx, and you follow like the main character named Miguel Martinez, and he's like called the little mayor because like he interacts with his neighbors a lot, with the people of his, people in his neighborhood, and he's like doing a little thing where like he's trying to do a block party for like a bodega for like his for his like father figure Tony, and it's sort of like shows like it's the movie's like very on the nose about what it's about, where like the vampires pretty much represent like gentrification in the area. It's just very obvious.
It's funny because you told me about this movie earlier, and I didn't know what a bodega actually was until you told me what it was. Because the only other time I heard the word bodega was an OKKO, and I assumed it was like
confused the whole time.
A little. I thought it was like a funny word
for all 800 episodes of that show.
Yeah. Go on, Rosa.
Yeah. Quick. Don't digress a lot and say like Dar's bodega is not a real bodega unless it's in the corner of a building. It is not a bodega. That is like a little mini mart. Calling you out. Ian Jones Courtsy.
Like, you could do what I do, and I just thought Ian Jones Courtsy's name was J.G. Quintel.
I was gonna do that. But yeah, it's sort of just very on the nose about like what's it about. Where like it's sort of shown like throughout the movie that like these vampires are sort of like buying up businesses, and then they sort of get replaced with like businesses that are sort of like selling like gluten free, or like the butter store where you get different variety of butter or stuff like that. And then like it shows up where like there's a lady and they would sell like these little ice creams called papitas. At least that's how my family would call it. Where like they get like these little ice cream, these little cups, and they usually like little independent businesses, and then they sort of get like knocked out by like this ice cream truck coming in saying vegan ice cream or whatever. It's really just very on the nose.
Well,
I guess what made me.
I was gonna say, most monster movies are like that. Like the monster is like something. Like the monster's like I learned just this week that the monsters in Pacific Rim were like a metaphor for global warming. I didn't think about that until like I saw quotes from the movie. I'm like, oh, that's really obvious.
Yeah, and I guess I really wanted to see this movie because, like, I saw the commercial, like, I saw the title. I was like, "Oh, Vampires from the Bronx." I live in the Bronx, and I checked the trailer, and I saw like these two comedians. One of the two comedians, the Bodega Boys. I think his name was Diaz. Yeah, Diaz, who played as Kid Miro. He played as Tony, the guy who runs a bodega, and is like the father figure. And it's like, oh, I'm interested because like they sort of talk a lot about like their experience living in the Bronx, and sort of just interesting. Oh, like he probably had like not any writing credits in it or anything to do with the writing, but it's sort of just interesting. Like, something about the Bronx, It's just like very funny to see. Like, yeah, it totally did get some of the vibes of just like living in the Bronx, and like occasionally hearing the music you hear played in like bodegas and everything. It was like a little fun time for me, a little fun romp.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's like almost a nostalgic kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like some locations they really recognize. There's just probably different parts of the Bronx I haven't seen. But like it honestly I seen like 161st, like where Yankee Stadium was. And like, oh yeah, I guess that would be the area that would get gentrified the most.
Can I ask a question? Do they go to the Joker stairs in the movie?
I'm not sure which stairs it is. There's like a lot of stairs.
No, the ones from the Joker movie where he does the funny dance. Did they go to that?
No.
I don't want to see it anymore. I don't care. I don't care what this movie. I only see that.
Oh yeah.
That's like the last. I think that's the last time I visited the Bronx. I haven't been to the Bronx too much. It's just like the zoo.
Yeah. I mean, there's just like a lot more to the Bronx, and like then like the tourist areas, like Yankee Stadium. I remember just like when I used to go to school around the area, there's like a bunch of these tourists like crowding the trains.
Oh god.
Yeah, it was the worst. But like, I guess I was sort of lucky because like the second stop was sort of just like Yankee Stadium, and then the rest of they're like gone. But like, it really sucks for living like downtown.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a little fun romp, and it's like really fun. I guess like if anyone who lived in the Bronx wants to see it, like go ahead, have fun.
All right. Seep, Curb, did you watch or play at least one thing this week?
Well, I thought. Well, I did play a lot of Minecraft, but our Minecraft stories are too long. I have to clarify for context that Rosa and Ryan watched me play Minecraft for the first time.
We did, yes.
A magical experience. But I want to show my new favorite manga, Magu-chan God of Destruction, in Shonen Jump. The only Shonen Jump manga I'm reading besides Mori King, which is bad. Don't read that. It's not very worth your time. But it's no secret I'm a huge fan of Sergeant Frog / Kararogun, so it's on the fucking screen right now. So I think Magu-chan was basically made for me. It's like Kararo, but there's none of the bad stuff in it, and it's like this really like adorable eldritch gods based on like sea creatures end up in like a rural town in Japan, and like the main one is this little octopus one-eyed dude, and he's funny, and he talks like he's all powerful, but he got like neutered. So he can't really do much anymore, but he's adorable, and it's all about like his friendship with this girl Ruru, who's like kind of like she's kind of happy-go-lucky, but she's also kind of lonely, and so they're family, and it's cute. And it's really like it made me cry the last 2 weeks because it's
Oh
wholesome.
no. Wholesome.
It's really good.
Wholesome.
I think it's more of like a slice of lifey thing. So if you're into a plot, that's not the manga for you, but it's like catered to me specifically. So I've been enjoying it a lot. I got a couple friends into it because blobs are funny. And that's like the only thing I care about in Shonen Jump, to be honest. I've heard like I have exactly like one friend who reads most of Shonen Jump, and I've heard that most of it's not that good. So, um, I don't know.
Or
Like I have friends that are into like some of the mainstream stuff also, but like I've heard like the other stuff in it is like eh.
or like
Shonen Jump.
Shonen jump off a bridge in.
Oh my god. Okay, I don't know if it's that intense. Yeah.
My God.
That's my advertisement for the week, unpaid. There's a volume 1 coming out soon that I might buy. So you can tell I'm serious about how much I love Magu-chan God of Destruction.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's it. Besides Minecraft, Minecraft is fun. I'm bad at it, but it's fun.
All right, see.
We didn't talk about Steve, but
That's fine. We talked about a lot. I think we talked about Steve enough like last time. It's fine.
Steve lost his meat. That's it.
Yeah, there we go. Steve lost his meat. You see, did you watch or play anything this week?
Post the image of Kabillion stream.
Who?
What?
The Kabillion stream. The picture I sent you.
Did you send me something?
Is
No,
it the one in this
earlier.
chat?
Oh,
5 hours ago.
oh, the Bobby's World thing.
Yeah, just put it in the.
Okay, hold
Bobby's
on.
World.
Yeah, put it up.
Hi, ladies.
One second. 1 second. Let me get Bobby on screen.
Oh, hey, Bobby. It's Halloween, Bobby. I watched Bobby's World Halloween special last.
There it
It's
is.
like, and so yeah, earlier today I found out that there's a Kabillion YouTube channel. Kabillion owns like Bobby's World property. They're the only ones who wanted it. And
Oh, Bobby's World had things still like under production that would require ownership of it.
they just rerun like 40-year-old episodes, not
Oh.
30-year-old episodes of Bobby's World. That's why I even know about Bobby's World. If it wasn't for that channel, I would not know what Bobby's World was because it has no sort of cultural relevance at all.
I only
No
know
matter-
it from
So, can I point something out real fast? On this image of like Bobby's World like YouTube stream, where like they're streaming Bobby doing the Omega lol Twitch
Is that what that
they only have 5
Yeah.
bits. That's like the same amount of bits I would get as a streamer, like when I was streaming. Bobby's World was doing as good as I was.
I think that's an accomplishment for
Yeah.
you.
I'll just wait till you see the Hero 108 streams, how much clout those get.
What is,
You know.
I don't know what that is. So that says a lot.
Yeah. So yeah. That's really all I have to bring up, I guess.
I guess there's something to the fact that Bobby's World as a property only exists to like make like the official thing that owns Bobby World. The only thing they do with Bobby is make fucking memes of Bobby's World now.
Oh yeah. Look up like the Kabillion YouTube channel. Look up like the memes that they do for Bobby's World.
There's like a video where like Bobby's like going through this Halloween thing, and then like they play spooky, scary skeletons at the end. There's like a video like the dog dancing when when you can't go outside, and it's like the dog dancing the Animal Crossing music.
Yeah. This is official Bobby's World promotional material. Now, this is a part of its history, a part of its legacy.
Man, Bobby's World is a real meme bait.
Yeah, and you know who voices
Steve,
the uncle?
you should audition to voice Bobby in the inevitable Bobby's World reboot.
What would that be called? Bobby's New
Bobby's
World?
Universe.
Bobby can go.
Bobby's Universe future.
Bobby Universe future.
It's my world and we're living in it.
Bobby Murphy's Law.
And then Doofenshmirtz, because the uncle's voice actor like died, they're gonna replace the uncle with Doofenshmirtz.
Yeah. You know, what about the uncle's voice actor, Ryan? What else?
He played Dr. Pig. Remember From Barnyard.
Instantly recognized him when I watched like one episode of Bobby's World.
Actually, I do have one thing to say about that. That's not the thing I'm going to talk about this for this week. But they did a DuckTales episode about Darkwing Duck, and they brought some of the villains back, like about like 4 of them, and all of them have their old voice actors, except
Germa.
Oh, Germa, except the one that Dr. Pig's voice actor played. I feel bad forgetting his name and calling him Dr. Pig's voice actor, but him. They brought his character back, but he's the only one that doesn't speak in the episode. They made him kind of like, because he's a plant-based villain, he's the my 3 sons one. So he's kind of like withered out and doesn't speak, and I thought that was that was an interesting way to tackle that. I'm glad they didn't. I think it was nice for them not to replace it.
Tino Insana was the name.
Tino Insana, okay.
Yeah, he died recently in 2017, so wasn't too long ago. Yeah.
I like how you keep saying Dr. Pig too, like, specifically Dr. Pig.
That's the doctor specifically. Like Dr. Mario, they're gonna turn it into a separate character.
From Barnyard, by the way. I hope everyone knows that Dr. Pig is the pig from Barnyard.
Dr. Pig, now in Smash Bros.
So the thing I played this week that I think would be interesting to talk about is Jackbox. Jackbox 7 came out, and I want to say 2 of the new ones they introduced I think are some of the best games they put in Jackbox literally ever. I think Champed Up and Talking Points are like two all-star Jackboxing. Like ones like I'd play almost every session if we did one. Like
the role models of the new pack.
Yeah, because yeah, those 2 are the big ones. I think are the absolute best. Quiplash, the new one. Quiplash is like a safe like Jackbox game. Like it's never gonna be like a bad time playing that. But I think what puts this Quiplash over the last one is the final quip is actually fun to do. I didn't really like the fill in the blank kind of our acronyms one. The past
yeah, because I think a few times with the old ones, especially like I think we got a comic strip. I remember we were playing once and that we ended up like not liking it and it just killed the whole mood because some of the prompts were not. So yeah, I think it does individualize prompts now, right?
Maybe. And then Devils in the Details I think is fun, but it's very loud and like it's very different from like most Jackbox games. I would say like it's not like I don't know how to describe it. It's not like a lot. It's like a WarioWare kind of mini game, I would say.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. And then I thought whatever the last one is, like the trivia game. I forgot what it's called. The Owl Reading Fun Time.
That's the worst one. That's the only one I got to play so far.
I don't love it. It's alright. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
It's too broad, I think.
Yeah, it compares to know a lot when you could like it would have been better if you done like custom prompts that a friend group would know.
Yeah, the custom prompts is definitely a good idea because, like, the one round that I played, like, barely anybody got any answers unless it was, like, ridiculously easy, so.
Yeah.
A lot of us were just, like, spouting inside jokes because, like, that's what you do for Jackbox.
But yeah.
So.
Champed Up and Talking Points are, like, 2, like, top-tier Jackbox games, and I imagine those are, like, ones I play a lot. But yeah, that's it for Jackbox. I don't have much to say. They're just fun games. I guess now we have time for, like, 2 or 3 questions. So,
yeah.
This is the part of the show. This is the part of the funny show where you comment a question in chat, and then we'll read it off, and then we'll answer the question. So go crazy.
Yeah, because you haven't heard enough of my opinions tonight.
Favorite Halloween candy can be more than one.
Reese's.
Halloween candy.
Yeah, Halloween candy. What was like your favorite candy to get when you were like trick or treating?
It's been a long time since any candy.
I love the really specific, like, not even specific, just like really like generic, like I don't know what it would even be. It would just be like you just get like this chocolate that was shaped like a pumpkin. I don't know where those come from, but I always love those because like.
Can you ban Liv?
Yeah.
I won't ban Liv. When I was a kid, my 2 favorites were either Three Musketeers or like the Twizzlers, but like specifically the ones that were like green, blue, and purple. Those Twizzlers were my favorite to get.
I've never seen those.
Root beer with the blue licorice straw.
What about you, Rosa? What was your favorite Halloween candy to get?
I would say it's probably those hard Jolly Rancher candies.
Ooh.
Maybe.
I'm gonna flip the script actually.
Maybe, like,
oh god. I'm gonna flip the script. Actually, I feel like we haven't like had a controversy in a while. What is the worst Halloween candy to get?
I don't know. Fucking pretzels.
Ew, toothpaste and raisins.
Or I think maybe just like the generic McDonald's cookies.
What?
You got McDonald's cookies on Halloween?
Like not like the good ones. Like these rare McDonald's cookies, character cookies, and they were so
What?
pretty bland.
Oh,
What are you
okay.
talking
They
about?
get
Wait,
on
on Halloween? What are you
Yeah,
talking
I
about?
remember.
What?
The McDonald's in my era used to do that.
I don't even know what a rare McDonald's cookie is.
Don't you
You
know
need to collect them.
the rare
The
ones?
Rosa Tall Tale, if I ever heard one.
Like, if you don't know about it, then there's a reason why they don't sell it. They just throw it out.
My two big ones I didn't like getting as a kid were I didn't like candy corn, but I could like tolerate it. But like the pumpkin candy corn stuff, I fucking hated getting.
That's the same thing.
Yeah, I guess I just hated candy corn in general. I hate candy corn.
I like it
I'll
actually. I'm like a
them
freak.
You're like a freak.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wish
the biggest-
pumpkins. I wish pumpkins actually tasted like candy corn in real life.
Biggest candy corn fan.
And
That's your title now.
I also didn't like Whoppers, Almond Joys, or Dots very much.
Why is Ronald wearing hipster glasses? You put the picture of the rare McDonald's cookies on screen.
Let me look
Yeah,
up-
I think the world needs to see them.
let me look up.
There's like a hipster Ronald. Who is that?
Who's it? Who's the
Oh,
thing in between the two grimaces? What is
Oh,
that?
these are the rare McDonald's cookies. Hold on, let me put Rose's rare McDonald's cookies on screen.
Is that DDD? What is that?
Well, I hope it's DD.
Are there common McDonald's cookies?
Can you buy them in packs at your nearest local retail store? The blind box McDonald's cookies.
There they are. Here's the rare McDonald's cookies.
Looks like Kylo Ren, that Ronald McDonald. I don't know why. No. The one on the top left, that looks like that's Finn Wolfhard in It Chapter 1. That's what he looks like in the movie.
Skywalker caused a lot of controversy.
I think as a kid, like Halloween candy, I skewed towards gummy stuff mostly. I really like getting like gummy stuff, like Twizzlers or like gummy worms, or, like the gummy like eyeballs or like vampire teeth kind of stuff.
For me, I feel like when it's not Halloween, I usually prefer that. But when it is Halloween, that's like my chocolate period. That's because I feel like the chocolate companies really like love doing Halloween things.
Oh, chocolate.
Our past
Chocolate. Sweet chocolate.
the past few years, we've done Halloween at our house. We got like one kid to come, and then we had like a full bag of candy left. And I don't even. We're probably gonna be less. We're gonna get less than one kid this year probably.
Oh yeah, I think we're not putting candy out this year. Pretty much, it's like been getting deader and deader every year, and we're like just like screw it. No candy.
I just want to have a bag of candy. I don't care about the kids.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to like I'm
all
going to like
for me.
Walgreens.
Fuck them kids.
I
I'm
mean,
really-
I work in a retail store now where like I've seen more candy bars than I ever knew existed. Like I've never heard of half of these brands that we sell in my store. So
They're discounted on like Halloween, right?
I'm
are
pretty
they?
sure.
I don't know.
I think
The
like
Halloween,
on or like
I dread this
after.
time of year because the Halloween aisle is like a complete mess. I walk in and it's just like everything on the floor. So
Oh,
now I
man.
hate Halloween more than I used to. But in terms of like least favorite candy, I don't really have one. I mean, I wasn't too much of a mint person ever, I guess. But yeah, it's candy.
Candy, get a steady, Garfield. We have to go. Garfield, and friends. Halloween.
All right. More questions. Send some more questions.
A lot of Halloween
Yeah.
questions in here. What are we gonna do next week for the Halloween one?
I don't know.
There's gonna be no questions.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because next week's Halloween, so you'll be doing.
Well, our podcast days are like before Halloween. I don't know. What are we gonna talk? We'll figure
It's
something
close
out.
enough.
We'll figure something out. I don't know.
We'll have like a holiday bash.
You're gonna introduce the new character, Skeleton of Seep. That's gonna.
What's your least favorite Christmas candy? What
Was that a question?
do you
No
even
candy.
what do you even signifies that Christmas? There's like candy cane and what else?
That was like a
I like-
Santa
I like
Claus
those-
chocolate.
I like those like fruity candy canes.
Mint candy canes.
You-
Fruity candy canes
this
are-
question is literally just what candy cane flavor do you like the best?
This question,
Yeah.
someone scrambled to like get their question in. No one. This is. But ask about like McDonald's cookies.
Yeah, let's talk about
This
the
is
McDonald's
insane.
blind thing.
Oh, actually, I like this question. What's your generic, non-licensed Halloween costume if you were in a cartoon Halloween special?
Ooh.
Mm,
So I guess this means like only like generic kind of monster candy characters, like kind of that vein stuff, right?
Myself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I. Remember that? This is off topic. Remember that regular show episode where like the guy who was voiced by Spike Spiegel dressed up like Spike Spiegel?
no.
That was-
What?
Yeah, there was
Yes.
Tecmo. Tecmo dresses as Spike Spiegel because his voice actor voices Spike from Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of like you just said Spike Spiegel, like the person. Who?
I think
No,
if there was a way to start the podcast Netflix cartoon original series and we did a Halloween episode, I think I'd be the ghost with a sheet over the head.
Okay.
It's like
Okay.
a sheet ghost.
You'd be the Charlie Brown ghost.
Yeah.
Be like censored entirely because we're not going to pay Katakawa for the rights to Coronians. So I would not be in the show. Sorry, everybody.
I feel like I'll be the character that wears a really cool costume and like, wow, nice Halloween costume. Like, it's Halloween.
Like, what would it be? Would you be like? Would you just be screwed up?
Yeah. I probably look like Charlie from Always Sunny.
Okay. I don't know. What would I? Would I be like a wolf man, like Bart?
Be like Bart. He's the only.
I'm sorry. I've been watching like every
the only Wolfman ever, Bart Simpson.
There was one episode where he's like he turned into a wolf.
It's like, cool, I'm a wolf now.
I guess I think I could be that. I could be like a little animalistic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just gotta be feral a little bit. Just for one night.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
gotta be feral.
Scooby Doo Unleashed.
if anyone, while we're waiting for like one more question, I wanted to ask because you can ask one more. We have time for one more question. Has The Simpsons ever done a non-Treehouse of Horror like Halloween episode, like just like an episode on Halloween?
Yeah, I actually they did one. There's exactly
Oh.
one episode. It's called Halloween of Horror, and I actually think it's pretty good. It's one of the like the HD era episodes. It's pretty good for an HD episode, I'd say. It's got a good like I think it has an interesting story to it.
The real
Saw it
Jibs
one
was
time
gonna
a few
say
years
this. He'd
ago.
be like, you know me. The real Jibs looking like slide his images onto like his black background as like whatever his three music track plays.
Yes.
I like the real Jibs. That wasn't a knock towards him.
They also did Thanksgiving of Horror last year.
Oh, with Baby Maggie as a turkey.
With baby Maggie as a turkey.
Did they try to eat her? I don't know.
The plot of that one was the Simpsons were turkeys and like everyone in Springfield they were like pilgrims and they were like trying to eat them.
That sounds kind of shitty.
I think it was actually pretty. Honestly, Thanksgiving of Horror was better than the Treehouse of Horror that year. That's all I'll say.
All right.
I mean, Thanksgiving is kind of horrible, so I guess it makes sense.
I don't think we have any more questions. I think we've reached.
Everyone just wants to ask about Halloween today.
I mean,
We're
I
not
guess.
done, guys.
Code Lyoko, you know.
Oh, god.
Oh, yeah, Code Lyoko. I have like very vague memories of it. Like I only remember it because Liv talks about it.
The other week, I was hanging out with a friend, and they were watching like Kolyoko. So it was sort of like it was the episode where like I forgot what was that nerd's name, but he sort of got stuck in the digital world. Just, like,
Wow, I'm in the digital world.
like in between, because like
Go on.
Okay, man, I got 2 lives left.
Go on, Rosa.
Sorry.
he just got stuck because everyone sort of doesn't really know how to do that. And then he sort of comes out and like, wow, that was amazing. Like you almost died and got deleted. You shimp.
Shimp?
Yeah.
Is that a word? Are we adding something to our lexicon today?
Shimp.
Mhm.
Well, there we
It's like
go.
a combo between simp and
Yeah.
Shrimp.
what's the shove part? What is that?
Oh wait,
Shrimp.
he's saying it wrong. But no, he just has a digital girlfriend. Is the thing.
Wow, just like Ready Player One.
Okay, I guess we don't have anything else to talk about. No like
Alright.
major updates for AAA games or anything.
All right,
That
everyone.
got released like an hour ago.
Who cares?
Alright.
I don't care. This has
I
been
didn't buy the DLC.
this has been another exciting episode of Ready to Start the Podcast. I'm Ryan.
I'm Rosa.
Yeah, okay.
Bobby. Okay, I'm Curb. Thanks for watching me tonight on my phone. Rosa.
Oh my god, Bobby, end the episode already. Oh my god.